Good morning, Year 4. Today I thought I'd make a video all about our reading dogs because Miss Bradford and I have attached a reading dog sheet for your parents and carers to have a look at home. And these are really, really important, and these are something that we use in class to help us understand what style of question we are answering and what skill we need to use. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run through each of the reading dogs and just refresh your memory on what skill you have to use when reading a text. So let's start off with Cassie, who is the commentator. So these are what we have up in our classroom. So Cassie, the commentator, discusses the content of a paragraph or a text and compares events and characters. So what this means is whenever you're becoming Cassie, you're looking at the layout, and often this is non-fiction text as well. So you might be thinking about the diagrams in the text or a table it's used, but you're thinking about the purpose of that. You're thinking, why has the author chosen to add pictures or chosen to add annotations to the text I'm reading? What is the purpose of this? So for example, if they were adding annotations, that might mean that the diagram you're looking at would become a lot clearer. So when you're using the comparing, contrasting and commenting, you're often thinking about the layout, or you could be making comparisons between different texts. So that is when you would need to use that skill. Okay, the next one we're going to look at is predicting Pip, okay? And that is all about thinking what will happen next. So he tries to see into the future, and she will help you work out what might happen next from the clues in the text, okay? So when we're using this skill of prediction, we must use the clues in the text. We can't just predict anything and make it up off the top of our heads. We've got to use what we already know about the text. So for an example of a question, it might be something like, based on what you know about a character, how do you think the story will develop next? So you're using what you already know about that character to make a prediction. So that is Pip. We often use predicting Pip. Okay, the next one is Arlo, the author. This one here. Okay, so he likes to help you spot examples of ambitious vocabulary, so some really powerful words, and figurative language, and he explains how words and phrases that have been used add meaning to the text. So this is different than just understanding what the words mean. We're thinking about how they add meaning to the text and why the author chose to use those words, okay? Why did he choose to use a better word than sad, okay? Thinking about those sort of examples. So a question for this could be, look for a simile in the text. And once you've found that simile, you then need to think about how does that add meaning? Why did that author choose to add a simile in? So they're those style questions. So whenever you're thinking about Arlo, you need to think about the author's choice, okay? And we often do this in our writing as well. We think about, why have we chosen that word? Is it the best word we could use? Does this have the effect we want it to have on the reader? Okay, so that's Arlo. Okay, one we use quite often is vocabulary victor. Okay, so vocabulary victor is where you're looking at understanding the meaning of words. It could often be finding synonyms, finding different meanings of words, but this is where you're showing that you understand the vocabulary in the text. So he helps you work out the meaning of unknown words and phrases as well, and you have to use the context as clues. So you have to, if you're not sure what the word means, you need to read around that word and use your understanding of the text to help you. So it could be a question like, what does this word tell us about a character in this book? So you might have to look at that word, work out the meaning, and then think, what does that tell us about the character? Okay, so that's vocabulary victor. Okay, Rex Retriever now. We've been looking at this already this week, and I've already showed you this reading dog. We spoke about this the other day. He's there to help you retrieve information and facts from the text. So we spoke about, didn't we, almost becoming Rex, thinking about becoming that retriever and how he would go and fetch that ball. You guys are fetching that information from the text and you bring it back. You don't change anything about it. You find the information in the text, okay? It's really important that these answers are not just coming from in your heads, they're coming from the evidence in the text. It's all about finding that evidence, okay? So these questions also are who, what, when, where, why questions. So we've said about before, when we're looking for a who question, we're looking for someone's name. When we're looking for a when question, we're looking for a date. All of those skills that we can use when we're using Rex Retriever. So a question that could be used, a retrieval question could be, when is the story set? So if it was a when question, you need to look for a date. Okay, next one, again, we've already looked at this one this week. Really good one to practice is Inference Iggy. So Inference Iggy will help you hunt for clues in a text about how someone might be feeling or why something might be happening. So we've practiced this week, haven't we? And we was looking at pictures and looking at them really closely to see what the clues are. So with this skill, the answer won't necessarily be really clear in the text. You've got to use the clues to help you reach your answer, okay? So you might be thinking about a character and the question might be, why did the character behave like this? In the text, it might not tell you the character behaved like this because, but you've got to use everything you know about that character, everything that's happened recently to help you pick out those answers to that question. Okay. Last one now is we're going to look at summarising Sheba, okay? So summarising questions are there. She's there to remind you to summarise the main points or the main events from a paragraph or text, okay? So sometimes we might ask you to summarise or give an overview to a whole text you've read. Other times it might just be a paragraph or it could be a main point that you've read as well. So this is all about picking out the main ideas. This shows you've got a really good understanding and a really good recall of what you've been reading. So a question that could be linked to this would be, can you describe what happened in 3 sentences? So you've got to be really precise, okay? And it's all about remembering those key details that happened in the text. Okay, feel free to watch this video back if you need to go over any of the other reading dogs, okay, and the reading domains. But you will see these reading domains pop up quite a lot when we're going through our reading questions. And as I've said, we've attached a sheet for you that explains all of the different reading domains and the type of questions that you could be asking yourself or your parents and carers could be asking you. We're also going to put a copy of these in your next learning pack, so keep hold of this video as you can use it if you need to look back. If you have any questions about this or if you need any support with your reading task, please ask and we will help you.